How's it, everyone? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to How's It Cousins, the podcast where we take a look at the unique people of the world and the interesting things that they do. We talk about them, we relate to them, and hopefully we help you relate to them as well. Today, with the Grammys incoming, close enough at least, we want to take a look at one of the amazing Grammy-nominated artists, one that has a chance to do a Grammy sweep of their nominated work. And also someone who has perennially been a powerhouse when it comes to the Grammys and music in general, either whether through amazing costumes or just belting out them tunes. And I am talking about none other than Lady Gaga.
How's it, Chris? Are you talking about Lady Gaga? Yo, I'm down to talk about Lady Gaga. Let's do this.
Aloha, Alvin, and welcome to the Grammys podcast, or pre-Grammys podcast.
Yeah, man, I'm always down to talk to you. It's always fun. Let's do it.
Before we jump into it, I want to remind everyone that you are watching the How's It Network. We are broadcasting live on twitch.tv/How's It Network. Check us out there. If you want more, you can check us out at howsitnetwork.com if you like what you're hearing. This podcast airs on all the popular podcast services, including Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and all the like. Follow us on social media at How's It Network on all the popular social media platforms. Alvin, you want to plug anything before we jump into it?
Yes, my name is Aloha Alvin, and you can find more of me at alohalvin.com.
All right, so Lady Gaga, one of the perennial powerhouses in the music industry for probably the last decade at least. I can't say much except that it's amazing to see the transformation from her early albums all the way through being a quote-unquote movie star now, which is incredible.
Yeah, man, I never followed her acting, but I know she was on American Horror Story, and I've heard only good things. Have you seen that?
I have not, and I might have to try to look that up real quick while we're doing this. I didn't even know she was on there.
Yeah, see, that's the cool thing. Like, she was on that. I've only heard positive things, and then she's on this. Or not on this, but on the Bradley Cooper movie thing. Star is Born. She's on A Star is Born.
Star is Born, yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I was watching something with her in it, and it was like, I guess it was just, hey, Lady Gaga, what's going on? How do you feel about acting and stuff? And she goes, I just want to give a big shout out to Bradley Cooper. Thank you for, something like letting me act or giving a chance on me to act. And I'm like, wait a minute, you were in American Horror Story and that went really well. So, I think she doesn't give herself enough credit, which is nice. Humility is always nice. But, yeah, I've only heard good things about the A Star is Born as well.
So I read something, maybe it was today or maybe a few weeks ago, talking about A Star is Born could be in the running for an Oscar.
I totally believe
that. In a few categories. Yeah, I believe that too, with the hype that it's gotten. So, interestingly enough, so Lady Gaga, right? Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanotta. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Are you serious? That's the name? That's her
actual name. Stephanie Germanotta.
Okay.
And so, through the music career, she's created the whole Lady Gaga persona. I mean, at a time, in the early 2000s where everyone was still kind of going by their, I guess real names is the way to say it, but however you want to mention it, right? She created a character around this, and it was a very eclectic one at that.
Yes.
The entire, the meat dress thing.
Yes.
That, the whole, hello, my little monsters, right? Like, there was a whole thing surrounding it. And even despite that, and it being silly, almost to a point, I guess you could say that, people still flocked to it. It was still a crazy cult following. And I found that to be, well, at the time, I thought it was a little weird. But when you kind of take a step back and look at it, it's amazing to how you can craft that and just gain that kind of following like that based around I'll say fake character, but a played out, exaggerated version of yourself.
Okay, I gotta say this. So, I was at a 7-Eleven, and just in case you live in a place with no 7-Eleven, it's kind of like the Quickie Mart from The Simpsons. Okay. Anyway, I was at a 7-Eleven, and I'm looking at the magazines, because I always do. I'm looking at the covers, and I'm like, oh, who's this, who's that, whatever. And I remember seeing a blonde woman on the cover of something. It might have been Time or some big name magazine. And all I could think was, that's odd. You know, I usually know the names and faces of people when they're on Time or whatever, like Rolling Stone or whatever. The reason why I say that is like, I usually know. I look at them and I just know. For instance, if Mariah Carey was on something, you don't have to tell me who it is. I can just see her face. I know her face, you know. So this woman, a blonde woman, was on the cover, and all I could think was, wow, I have no idea who that is. I remember thinking that I had to pause and be like, who is this? So then I read the text on the side of the image, and it was Lady Gaga. And it's funny because the image I saw was a very normal looking woman, like completely normal. And then I thought about it some more because I thought about this before, and it just confirmed by seeing that cover of her with very, very normal appearance.
I think normal.
That meat dress.
No, go ahead.
No, okay, wait. Sorry. What I mean by normal is not like, you know, whatever TV tells us is normal. But I'm saying, like, if I saw that woman on the cover walking down the street, I'd be like, hey, nice to meet you, or do you know what time it is, or whatever. But if I saw a woman wearing a meat dress, I'd be like, whoa, this is weird. You know, this gives me pause, which I think is the point, right? Red carpet, everyone's walking on it. I don't give a rip who you are. Who are you? Whatever. But then now she's the lady in the meat dress. She's the lady riding around in an egg, you know? And we mentioned the engine before, and I'll definitely mention it now. Someone who is in charge of her or herself, she told herself, I can't just be another blonde woman. There are so many of them in the industry, you know, for me to stand out, I need something. And in her case, meat dress absolutely works. The fact you just say meat dress and boom, you think of her. That's pretty impressive. You know, like, it's just clothes in a way, but it definitely helped her.
I agree 100%. I mean, we talk about the engine and the machine, and for those of us who are uninitiated, it just basically means like doing what would make you popular, the society machine as we talk about. So Lady Gaga totally played through that. Now, I don't know if she had an advisor of some sort. I'm not smart enough in that aspect to understand that part of it. But you could tell that from the beginning, there was something telling her to stand out. And initially, I would say, I'm not saying it's not her, because it is, right? It is. But if you kind of look at the transformation from then till now, there's got to be some type of like advising going on, right? Because
it has to be.
From day one till today, that character has transformed so much that you probably wouldn't catch her dead wearing a meat dress today, right?
Correct. Exactly. Correct. Okay, here's my question to you. So, if we look back at those times, there was that person over there with the cool stuff and, you know, the red carpet stuff. Like, she's riding around in an egg, right? It made the news. I don't follow red carpet stuff. That made local news. That's how I knew about it, you know? Those things, okay, that person, like, just time travel a little bit and then think of her only in those terms. And then imagine if someone said, hey, do you want to be in a movie with Bradley Cooper? You're going to have to look like a normal person, no meat dress, you know? I imagine whoever was in charge of her, like her persona would say, no, we just can't. We can't. We got to be crazy. We need everyone to stop and stare at us. Cause in The Star is Born, when you watch the trailer, it's just like some lady with some guy, you know, just normal people. If I bumped into the two of them on the street, no big deal. I've never seen a person riding around in an egg, you know, with my own two eyes, which is probably a good thing because I would wonder what the F is going on, right?
Exactly.
So, see, okay, here's my beef, okay? Like, I gotta say this. So, Pharrell, for a little while, he was known for that big ass hat. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He had a big hat.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And I remember saying this because I was joking, but it's also true. I can wear a hat. I have the skill level to put a hat on my head. I can do this, you know? It's getting him a lot of publicity. At least I couldn't get around it. As a guy who does not go on to like TMZ and stuff, I couldn't stop seeing it. It just kept showing up. I'm like, it's a dude wearing a hat. I'm certain if you just went to the mall, you would see at least one other guy wearing a hat. But for whatever reason, that hat stood out and that hat was stuff people had to talk about. You know, so that works. Like riding around in an egg. Now, I'm pretty sure I weigh more than Lady Gaga. I'm a heavy dude, but I can sit down in a chair being carried by dudes. I can do this, you know,
but not an egg chair.
Like, yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. So, but it worked for them. It's genius. Whoever thought of it, and especially if it was her, thumbs up to you. Well played.
Yeah, like, so it's interesting to see that not only did her persona evolve like that throughout the years, but also her music. I had, I'd say a year, maybe 2 years ago, I had watched, I forget if it was a video or read a bunch of articles, but there was a bunch of like things talking about how her actual style of music changed from album to album. And unlike many other artists, she takes that risk to do that, to change that style, even to a group of fans or a fan base that is really looking for a certain thing. Like if you listen to her earlier songs, like the popular ones, like Poker Face, right? And then you listen to the later ones, there's an evolution from Poker Face to Born This Way to, what was that recent one on Jolene? Illusion? Something Illusion? I have to look it up.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice.
So the style of music changed and also her vocal range changed. So here comes the music nerd side, and I am not as educated as most in music theory and music culture, but this is what I understand of it. So when she first started out, she is a professionally trained singer, so she can sing, right?
Yes.
But her range isn't as great as some other female vocalists. Like, again, she's no Mariah Carey in range or Whitney Houston. And you can hear it in her songs, and that's okay, right? It's a different style. But from album one or album popular one, which had all the pop, super popular songs, to most recent, which is Jolene, the kind of raw, stripped down version, she actually changed her vocal range. Like she sings on a different scale now. So the scale of music she uses on her more recent songs is different than her original ones because of the style change. And there have been actually many critics who say that it sounds like she's struggling more now because that's not her natural voice range. But I mean, it's a battle to say that yes, she can handle it or no, she cannot, whether or not it's her natural range or not.
That's a hard call. Okay. So here's something I thought about before. Okay. Like, there's a couple of singers I've seen before where I thought, all right, here we go. Clearly a skillful singer. I'm sure she'll go far, without naming names, because all I'm going to do is just crap on other people. So let's not go there. But there are singers that are like, they sold very well in the past decade or so, but then now we don't hear about them. And one of the arguments is he or she doesn't sing well. Therefore, they have not come as far, I guess, or they haven't lasted the test of time. In that same sense, I think of Lady Gaga, and I think she's definitely still around, and she sings quite well. I want to say her background was opera. Do you know?
I don't.
Was it opera stuff?
I don't, actually.
She was absolutely trained, though. And the reason why I say that is just a lot of the stigma of being a pop star is you're just, some kind of, like a doll people dress up. You're not even human. You have no ability. It's all fake. There's auto-tune and all that stuff. And one, I don't buy that because I've heard enough live singing from different people to know that some of them are extremely talented. Two, the fact that Lady Gaga is still around, I wonder if that's just a testament to her skill. Like there is no meat dress anymore. Like how is she still around? Well, she can act. She's in a movie. To put it mildly, she's one of the main characters. You see her everywhere, So I think it's not fair to not appreciate that kind of stuff, especially if she's trying to stretch her range. Like I was not aware of that, and I applaud that. I know what it's like to try new things, and I absolutely know what it's like to have people crap on what I'm trying. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a very interesting piece of knowledge there. You mentioned it then, and I'll touch on it too. Is that it's pretty cool that now she went from the crazy persona of "Hello, My Monsters," kind of thing, to trying to strip it down and be more like a bar singer. That was the whole thing with that Jolene album, right? The one that came out a couple of years ago, is that she tried to revert back to being a more relatable type of singer, like someone you'd see perform in like those like biker bars. In fact, she did a biker bar tour, right? Where nice. She played in a bunch of actual bars.
Right.
Without all the crazy makeup, without all the crazy costumes, like just her.
Yes.
And from there to be playing that character in A Star Is Born, which really kind of is the cherry on top of that entire transformation. I think that's crazy. I can't even think of any other artist that has made that type of transition over like a decade worth of time.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you can.
I'm not sure either, but I will say this. And I think it was Lady Gaga. The interviewer was asking the person, like, you know, what's your background? What do you do? And all that stuff. And her response was, I train like crazy. Like I train all the time. So I remember this is for, stand-up comedians. And I remember reading it and thinking it was really interesting. So let's say, okay, Chris, here's just a random question for you. Let's say you decide right now you want to be a stand-up comedian. So what's your plan in your mind? What are you going to do next? Like, okay, now that I've decided to do this, I'm going to.
So I would take a cue from some people that I watch or listen to.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, is that I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. You write out jokes and things like that you want to talk about. You kind of get your writing going. And B, you just go to open mics.
Yes.
And you fail and you fail and you fail and you fail.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what I've heard is actually the way to go.
The advice was get up there and bleed. And the logic was, even if you go up there and you got nothing, it's still good for you. And I guess the argument is, it's not so much a perfect joke thing, so much as it is, you're a schmo and a noob and you got to practice, just get up there and do it. The reason why I say all that is that takes work. And well, it takes guts, obviously, but that takes work, night in, night out, over and over again. The reason why I say that is my knowledge of Lady Gaga is that she's a crazy hard worker, which I believe from everything I've seen. It would not surprise me that if in her mind she theorized this A Star is Born character and she was like, I should just go play on stages and just experience it. Cause it wouldn't surprise me at all. Plus like living it, doing it, like a lot of people do that. Let's see. I think Charlize Theron learned all kinds of martial arts for Atomic Blonde, stuff like that. Like that's normal. Oh, Keanu Reeves, I know Kung Fu, stuff like that. Like, yeah, whatever it takes, the dedicated person is going to jump right in. And I feel like that applies to her. And in my eyes, anyone who can work that hard, I'm like, yep, I'm not surprised she's kicking ass as an actress. That's great.
Yeah, I believe it 100%. Kind of to relate the point, right? Look at this podcast. Hey, yo, right? Hey, you want to start a podcast? You know what the first thing you should do? Listeners out there, let me tell you what the first thing you should do is you just get on the mic and you start hitting record and you do it.
Amen to that. And there's also bleeding involved.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of bleeding involved.
Yeah, that's part of it too. Yeah.
It's painful. It is very painful, but you just do it. And you kind of learn along the way, but the whole point is that it's all practice. It really is. And hopefully you get better over time. So it alludes to your point, right? That I've heard the same thing. Lady Gaga, intense work ethic, right? To get to where she's at. I will say, and internet can shame me all they want if they want to, but Lady Gaga live performance, bucket list item, dude. I think,
nice.
I think that would be an amazing thing to go watch.
Yes.
For example,
okay.
there are let me grab this.
Yes.
Like there are many great singers out there, and there are many great performers out there, and the two are different. Well, they can be mixed, but for the two are different. For those out there, I will give you the example of we recently had Bruno Mars come to Hawaii and do 3 shows.
Good times.
In the hometown, right? Yes. Personalized for Hawaii. There were a lot of elements in there that were very personal to us. I went and saw it live and it was fantastic. Not just because of the singing, not just because of the songs. It was a great performance. And I believe Lady Gaga would deliver on that kind of performance as well.
Nice. Totally agree. All right, pet peeve. I'm gonna complain. So I feel like we do get amazing performers here. However, I feel like when we get them, it's usually a year or 2 or a decade later, and it's really frustrating. So I applaud Bruno Mars for being huge and being here. Of course, he was Keiki Okaina, I hope we get Lady Gaga one day. I have no idea how long that'll take. I'm not going to hold my breath, but yes, I'd like to see her live one day. Definitely.
Absolutely. That would be a great performance. Even if it's not here, even if I had to go somewhere else to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's a total thing to see. In fact, I'm actually almost curious as to what her next, we'll say, persona will be, because I don't doubt that she'll continue to evolve with what is, I don't want to say popular, but what works, right? Where music is going, what her feeling is and how she fits into it. I believe that she will continue to follow that path because it's worked so far up till now. And for her, because of the large following, it'll probably continue to work in the same way.
Yes, completely agree. I'm going to say this, and I don't know if it's the same thing you've been referring to. So I think this made the news. I definitely didn't Google this. There was a thing where Lady Gaga was naked, like naked. Are you familiar with this?
I'm trying to think as to what that would be referring to, like on like a red carpet type thing. Is that what you're talking about?
No. Like, apparently, okay. So essentially, there was a show or a something, and then like we're all at the bar, we're chilling, and then there's singers, and then Lady Gaga says, "Yo, I'm gonna be on stage now." Oh wow, it's Lady Gaga. This is fun. And then she's naked. Does that sound familiar? Do you
up on
know
stage
about that?
naked? Like she appears naked?
I think she strips on stage specifically.
I mean, I think it's vaguely familiar. It must have been in like those early days when she was still doing the quote unquote more experimental things.
Oh, I don't know. It was a while ago, but I can't date it. Interesting. Okay. So I will say this because there was that thing where Jennifer Lawrence and a couple other celebrities, they were naked, but that was their own thing. You know, they did, I'm going to assume, romantic stuff with a romantic partner, and they weren't wearing clothes.
Is that in a movie or is that for the
No.
the Vanity Fair?
No, real life stuff.
Oh, the happening. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Okay.
Okay.
I only know one guy who uses that term.
We went deep, folks. We went from Lady Gaga maybe being naked on some kind of appearance of the fappening. If you don't know what that means, go Google it, but don't do that at work. All right?
Yes,
just stick from me.
Agreed. Well,
totally NSFW. We're not going to Google it here. But anyway, okay, I got it. It. Go ahead.
So the reason why I mentioned that is, well, for Jennifer Lawrence specifically, one, when it happened, of course, she was not happy about it. Of course. Two, after it happened, she did Red Sparrow. Have you seen Red Sparrow?
Yes. Well, sorry, I have not seen the movie. I know of the movie and I've seen previews. Yeah, I did not actually see the movie.
So, I will say I absolutely loved Red Sparrow. Having said that, it is about 100 times more graphic than I expected. And I think an interviewer, someone said, "Yo, Jennifer Lawrence, what's up with this? Why are you naked in this movie?" And I believe the response was something like an empowerment thing. You know, like some a-hole hacked my stuff. That's why that's out there. This is out there because I choose to. This is how I decide to live my life. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it was probably in the good taste of the movie too, right? Like the movie required it, right? Like,
yeah, it fit. Having said that, man, that movie gets real sad. So just be aware. It's sad and graphic. Just that's parts of the movie.
Oh
so
boy.
No spoilers. No spoilers. I will say in that same sense, I wonder if Lady Gaga like theorized that. You know, she just planned that. Not too many people would just be like, I'm on stage, here I am naked. That's just not a thing I see every day. You know? So yeah. I do wonder if that was part of the equation. Like, screw it. I'm going to own my nudity. I'm choosing when I do it. Here it is. So like, if there's nude photos of Lady Gaga, I don't know any of that. I legit do not look that up. Anyway, if there is, I imagine that's her owning it. Hey. I browse the internet, but I don't know. Not singers. Like, I don't know. I don't look it up. I don't. Okay, whatever.
Anyway.
Chris, I am typing this with one hand. Okay, anyway.
Hey, yo. The truth comes out. It's about time. All right.
Nice. Okay.
All right. No, I got it. Like that, I think that's pretty cool in the whole empowerment because, you know, you have control of it. I would think that if you're referring to Lady Gaga doing it, I 100% believe that it was part of the equation and it was part of the expression. I would like to think that it's not fully quote unquote calculated per se, but I believe that on the road that she was going, that it makes sense, right? I don't think that we'd see that today or now. I can vaguely recall what you're talking about, and I'm sure it did happen like that. But even more so, that is a thing, I think, these days into where people are being more comfortable with themselves and all of themselves. and it's becoming more and more of an important thing, especially with the advent of like the internet, for example, and how quickly things can get transmitted or shared. So, you know, you go naked somewhere and all of a sudden everybody knows, right? Everybody sees it, everybody knows. So it's important, especially for people in the public spotlight, to understand that and kind of roll with those punches. And I think Gaga does it really well.
Yes, agreed. Oh, actually, so this is a small kind of PSA over here. I'll throw it out there. One of the complaints from not just celebrities, but random people is, like, say you use Apples or so you have an iPhone or whatever. Shame on you, Apple people or cloud people. Why did you not protect me better? You know, shame on you for not going out of your way to keep me safe. And I forgot if this was like the publicist or whatever for one of the big companies, or it was just like a security expert on the news. Anyway, the commentary is like this, okay? Let's say my account for something was locked up. Of course, it's password locked. So then, it's like the Fort Knox, you know, it's like a Fort Knox website, whatever. It's super hard to get in. But then someone gets in. How? How did they get in? You know, the security should be high. Well, my password is Alvin backwards. Like, oh, well, you're an idiot. You know, like, you can't blame them for choosing a crappy ass password. Now, I don't know if that applies to all of the people who got hit by that stuff, but I know at least one person chose like their pet's name was their password. Like, for real? You couldn't take 5 seconds to cook up a better password? Like, no one tells me their password, but I hope I don't know anyone who chooses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I keep hearing that's like the most common password. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't let that be the most common password.
Wow. I'm with you 100%. Like, if I'm being honest, like, if you get password hacked, it's your own fault. It really is. There are so many ways to protect yourself nowadays that, I mean, I'm not hating on nobody, and we may be straying a little bit off topic, but yes, that's my belief.
Well, I feel like if you can take 5 seconds to cook something up, do it. Because if you're going to choose your wife's name or your brother's name, I'm like, dude, take a second, make something better. That's all. Because you can't blame the company. You know, it's like having the best lock ever and then leaving your key on your front porch. Like, dude, what do you want? What do you want from the lockmaker? You know?
I'm with you 100%. Okay. I'm with you. So before we dive too far away from the topic at hand, so the Grammys are incoming.
Oh, yeah.
They're the weekend after the Super Bowl. And nice. Lady Gaga nominated for, I think it's 5 or 6 of them. But almost all of them. So I'm going to segue real quick. So Lady Gaga, her last album was Jolene. And that came out in 2016, which is a few years ago now, right? True. So any new music that she comes out with is not associated with an album. Although supposedly she's working on another one, right? But most recently, she has been nominated this year in the Grammys for one song. And that's Shallow from A Star Is Born, the one she performed with Bradley Cooper of all people.
Ah. Yes.
And it's crazy to think that the one song from this movie, a movie-based song, is up for like 5 or 6 Grammys. And a lot of experts are predicting, as far as I read, which, you know, you can take that with a grain of salt, but she has a chance to sweep all the categories she's in for the movie song.
Whew,
now, cool. I've listened to it, and it's a good song, but
yes.
In my opinion, at least, it is no way as innovative as her other songs. It's just a really good, heartfelt song. It's got a lot of emotion with it, and it kind of carries the weight of the movie with it.
Okay, hold up. So, this is from my friend Peanut Butter. Anyway, he was telling me before, like, say, like White Snake or Poison, right? They do all these one kind of song. They're always like metally, loud, whatever. Then they do one song that is really slow and like a ballad and nice. You know, like maybe this is Lady Gaga's toning it down song. Like, I don't know her repertoire that well, but this song I know is not the same as Poker Face. So maybe that was the plan, which would actually make it a very impressive plan, because clearly it's doing well as far as the Grammys concerned, you know?
Yeah. And the other part of that is that her co-star in that song is Bradley Cooper. So now let's turn to the other side of that. So in a way, Bradley Cooper is now nominated for a Grammy.
That's crazy, right?
In some ways, cool. right? Bradley Cooper's nominated for a Grammy. In addition to the various like movie awards that he's gotten, and I'm not even going to look that up, how many he's won over the years, right? he may win Best Director and Writer and Picture for A Star is Born as well. But a Grammy.
I gotta say this. This is from Stephen Colbert. He does not swear, but I'm going to, and I'm going to just try to recreate his joke.
Stephen Colbert fucking swears. Let's be real about this.
Does he?
Doesn't swear
Okay.
Well, maybe not
Oh, yeah,
the
of
show.
course.
Like, but...
True. That's a good point. So anyway, he's interviewing Lady Gaga, and she's like, oh yeah, Bradley Cooper, thumbs up, nice stuff. And then Colbert's like, you know what? Fuck him. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, the guy, he does everything. This is ridiculous. He's acting and he's there. Like, can he tone it down? Can he let other guys be cool too? And I just had to laugh because it is kind of ridiculous. Good for him. Good for him. But yeah, possible Grammy on the way. That's amazing.
He puts all of their men to shame at that point. It's ridiculous. Like,
that's what Colbert was saying.
Can you be any less perfect Bradley Cooper? Like, seriously?
I just had to laugh. I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah. Anyway.
What was the first movie he really kind of broke out in? I forget. Like, he played this total asshole. And I'm like, who is this asshole? Like, dude.
Was it Limit?
Was it, The Hangover? Was he in The Hangover?
Oh, I think so.
I think he was in The Hangover, right? Like, he was like one of the asshole boyfriend's husbands. Anyway, besides the point is that, like, throughout the years, this dude's pretty amazing. Like, Rocket Raccoon and all, pretty amazing. I think it's pretty cool. But, so I had read something, I think it was last year before that movie came out, saying that, Bradley Cooper originally had a real, like, hard time coming to terms with he had to sing on camera and live.
Oh, fascinating.
Even despite the fact that he's, a very talented actor, he was not comfortable with his singing skills. And initially, he was going to write in to have everything voiced over by somebody else.
Oh, okay.
But it was Gaga was the one who said, no, you're singing this live. That's the only way that everything's going to come through in this movie, right? You're going to sing it for real, like you.
Dude, I totally buy that. That sounds so appropriate. Yes, totally.
And then Cooper had to take like voice lessons. Like apparently he even had to like tune his own voice down an entire octave just to get into that character and then sing it lower than he normally would sing something just in his normal voice, right? Just to make sure he's in that character, to make sure that he's conveying the right emotion there. But it was Gaga that really pushed the issue. And Cooper talks about in interviews how nerve-wracking it was to sing in front of or with someone like Gaga, who's like uber popular in the music industry. And it was kind of his nerve-wracking part of making this movie. He was the writer and director, but the worst part for him was having to sing.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know too many people who say fear of singing. I definitely know people who say they don't like public speaking. And I can see the parallels here, I can see that.
Totally. And so on the flip side, I don't know if Lady Gaga had a hard time with the acting in that case, but I do remember that when that preview first dropped, I forget what movie I was watching it in, and they showed the preview for A Star is Born. I turned to the people next to me. I was like, dude, is that Lady Gaga? Like, and they're like, no way. Like, that's gotta be someone else. Like no fucking way. Right? But I was like, wow. Me personally, recognize her instantly because that's what I do. But
nice.
But I'm kidding out there. But the point is that a relatively unknown female actress, dropping in a trailer, and immediately you're like, wow, that is someone way different than you're used to seeing. But it was immediate intrigue. Obviously, for me, not enough to see the movie because I'm just a lazy shit. That's a whole separate topic of discussion. Whole separate thing. I probably should have seen that movie. Just with whatever I was doing at the time, it didn't work out very well. But I think that movie has a lot of allure just because of that casting choice, right? To take a singer, at the point in her career where she is and throw her into the role like that.
Here's something I wasn't going to bring up till after, but I'll bring it up now because why not? Do you remember Yuna Ito?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Oh, we're gonna date ourselves on this one. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Wait. Well, wait. Before we continue, we can always crop this out. Otherwise, I'm just going to run with it.
No, run with it. It's good. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. Okay. Although the internet will now be able to find you and hunt you down. I'm just saying. But that's
crap.
Okay.
Awkward. That is weird. Maybe I do want to cut this. Okay.
No, just go for it. Go for it. Fuck it.
So my point is just, it's not common to see a singer become an actor or an actor become a singer. And I remember hearing more than once that, in other countries, that's totally normal. It's just not for Americans, or in America at least. There seems to be a resistance. I can't explain why that is.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we just get too attached to our putting things in pockets pop culture land that we have here.
Yes.
So for those that don't know, Yuna Ito, someone we knew from a previous life, pop star in Japan a number of years ago. Did she act too?
I believe so. Yeah.
So without diving into everyone's dirty laundry, I'll just say she's originally from Hawaii, but became a pop star in Japan. Famous.
Good stuff.
Singing, acting, all that stuff.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Quite amazing.
So here's the similar and follow-up question then. So like Will Smith, clearly music industry, and then later on in the acting sector, and I love him on screen, by the way. I feel like it's more common, like Lady Gaga, to go from music to acting than it is from acting to music. I don't know what your thoughts on this are.
Let's think. Is there anybody else who went from music to acting is the one you say is more difficult?
First. No. I think that's easier.
That's easier.
I mean, that's not really, that doesn't mean much, like 1% easier, but I think it's easier. Yeah.
Well, there was that time when Paris Hilton tried to release an album or a song. Although she's not really an actress either, but.
Cause there's an actress that I like a lot, and I'm not going to name her now because they would just be shitting on her. I like her a lot, and I think she tried the musical thing, and I thought, hey, that's not bad. But to my knowledge, it went nowhere, which is sad. Hey, you know what?
Can we not speak ill of Haley Steinfeld like that, please?
I love Haley. No, I don't know which one came first. I actually know her from, it must be music first, right?
I don't remember. She was one of Taylor Swift's buddies, and then I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know what came first. I think acting came first, to be honest.
I don't actually know. I enjoyed her in Pitch Perfect. I also watched Bumblebee. That was fun too. Okay, interesting.
Into the Spider-Verse, a little bit Into the Spider-Verse.
Was she
Gwen Stacy?
Oh shit, nice. Okay. I'm not complaining there either, right? It's fun.
Sold.
So, yeah.
I'm sold, right? Like,
yeah.
Let's be real. Yeah, I had no problem with her in any of those movies, honestly. Oh. But anyway, the point is like, music, acting, she kind of did that too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so wait, which one did you say was easier, music first or acting first?
I believe music into acting is easier. Just a little, but I believe so.
Like Marky Mark?
Well, there you go. See?
Oh, hey.
Right? I don't know his musical past. I just know he hates it. Anyway, but I do know his. Okay, check this out.
Feel the vibration.
Oh, yes. I also know he's not wearing a lot of clothes in it because I hear him talk about that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So here's something I always notice about Marky Mark, or wow. Anyway, he doesn't like being called that, but whatever. Mark Wahlberg. Yes. What I noticed is I've never tried to follow him, and what I mean is, okay, all right, Alvin, let me just tell you about a movie, and I'm like, okay, what is it? It's about a guy who snipes people with a sniper rifle. I'm like, damn, I want to see that. Mark Wahlberg. Okay, let me tell you about an assassin, and there's some comedy in it, but it's great kick-ass fighting. Oh, who is it? Mark Wahlberg. I'm like, oh, over and over. Yo, there's a new Transformers movie. Damn, I love Transformers.
Mark Wahlberg.
And
hey, there's that one where he's like fucking around with this like anthropomorphic teddy bear that is making like lewd jokes voiced by Seth MacFarlane. Hey.
Yes.
Who's that? Mark Wahlberg.
See, I've never tried to follow him, but I feel
buddy cop movie with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, exactly. See,
yeah,
but
crazy,
that's, whoever his agent is, man, that person has my taste down. Like, that person should just be my best friend. Or like, we have clearly the same interests.
We need to stop talking about Marky Mark right now because we're diving into an entire new episode. We could do a whole episode on Marky Mark, and we're gonna have to write that down because that's gonna happen. Just FYI.
Small, kind of embarrassing, but yes. But anyway, music first, and then here we are, right?
Yep.
So yeah,
totally.
I will say that I have heard nothing but good things for Lady Gaga. So whatever the next thing is too, hey, why not? I'll check it out.
There was this interview that she did a couple years ago to really explain the transformation to Jolene. I guess Jolene's the album, right? So I think that was one of the defining moments that for me watching and understanding her, just so that, she kind of explain and let everyone know like what she was doing and why like she wanted to go the route that she did and why stripping everything down was important to her at that point. I believe that, and anyone can correct me out there, I believe that she kind of got a little overwhelmed by the fame and the persona too, to some degree.
Okay.
And she felt like she wanted to return to the music, the raw musical ability, and connecting to that emotionally. And that was the main contributor to what we saw in that transformation.
Okay. I can see that. That's cool. There's a song, or there's a lyric in a Pink song, and it goes something like, LA told me you'll be a huge star. All you have to do is give up everything you are. And I'm like, wow. So it's part of, those are lyrics in Pink's song, but I'm like, I'm certain other people feel the same damn way,
Probably. I mean, it wouldn't be that surprising. And as we talked about the machine and the engine, right? I don't know what it's actually like for those kind of people. And when you are quote unquote famous, like how you kind of need to keep doing that to keep being famous. That's part of it too, I'm sure. True.
Yes. Okay. I gotta talk about a man I cannot name because I don't remember his name. But there was I don't remember his name. He was a good enough rapper, or maybe a great rapper. I don't know. So anyway, this guy was saying, hey man, sign me. Someone sign me. I'm an amazing rapper. Sign me. And then he gets signed. And the dude, like, he goes on tour, all kinds of good stuff. And then a year later, he says, I quit. And everyone's like, what the hell are you saying? He's like, nah, man, I'm done with this. I quit. And then, of course, people are like, you're crazy. Why are you quitting? And he said something like, it's extremely exhausting and difficult. Like, pros make it look easy. Like this, right? Like, I can only imagine this. All right, you'll wake up at 6. We have a 7 a.m. interview. Then we have a 9 a.m. interview. After that, you're working out again. You're gaining a little bit of weight. Then at 10 o'clock, like, that's the whole day planned out, like POTUS levels. Ridiculous. I don't remember that rapper's name, but all I can say is, I understand. I'm sure everyone gave him crap. Like, you gotta fight for this. It's so amazing. And it was amazing. He got the big break, right? I guess what he saw on TV was the cool parties and all the fun. What he lived was clearly very difficult. So totally I get it, unfortunately.
So that kind of relates to what I was talking about, right? Like, I wonder if that's what happened to Lady Gaga. Like, if it became too much. Like, cause she's like mega, mega popular at that point.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
And it became too much of keeping up all that and continuing to be more extreme and more extreme each time. That would be tiring, right?
Interesting.
To where you'd want to just play music, right? You want to just do dive bars, which is what she did, right? Play for 30 people instead of like 30,000 people at once.
I get that. Like, clearly we remember the meat dress, and I remember riding in an egg, but absolutely there was stuff I don't remember, but guaranteed there was weird costumes and whatever else, like I don't remember them that well, but I'm certain someone out there has like a collage or whatever, clips of images of that. And that doesn't just happen. Someone has to cook it up. Someone has to, well, in her case, be wearing it, be doing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'd be interesting to see in another 10 years, like the entire transformation story, right? We've seen it from like step 1 to like step 2.5. I think at least. I think it's not over, and it'll be great to see what happens in the future, especially now that she's dived into movies. I'm willing to bet that this is not the last we've seen of her in movies. Like, she's going to get something crazy again, good or bad, or extreme or not, or another like just singer portrayal or not, whatever it is, she's going to get cast again.
I believe that.
In fact, I think she won a Critics' Choice Award, like something recent. Yeah, she actually won an award for her performance in this movie as an actress.
Nice. I did not know that, but I completely believe it. Yeah, that's cool. So you're talking about the transformation thing. I'm going to throw this at you because I thought about this too. First of all, I have to say I am a very big Britney Spears fan. I've enjoyed a lot of her music. Good stuff. I remember there was a point where someone said, oh, she's the next Madonna. I guess because she kept changing stuff or something. I don't know. And then I also remember there's a point, I'm pretty sure it was the two of them, where Madonna was like coaching Britney. I forgot on what. I don't know. I mean, coaching might be pushing it. Might have been a couple of phone calls, but they were definitely connected and in a positive light. Something was going on. And I remember the statement was, oh, here we go. She's Madonna part 2. Watch out. This is going to be amazing, and et cetera, et cetera. And now the more I think of it, I'm like, I think I'd give the Madonna part 2 crown to Lady Gaga, actually. With the way, way, way out there outfits.
I agree 100% in that I can see the comparison, right? To where you're just looking at a blonde popular singer between Britney and Madonna, right? At that point, the next huge thing. And at that time, before Gaga came out, I can definitely make that comparison, right? But now, definitely what you're saying is correct in that Lady Gaga is the quote unquote second coming of Madonna for those in the later generation. And I don't even think the two between her and Britney even compare anymore. Just like how in recent years too, right? They say like Bruno Mars is the second coming of Michael Jackson. And I believe that 100% now.
I remember hearing a song once and I remember thinking, damn, is that Michael Jackson? Like I had to pause, but it was Bruno Mars. I'm like, oh, cool. Huge compliment. I like them both. So yeah.
Absolutely. Totally. Was Madonna in any movies?
I have to assume.
Probably.
I have to assume. Yeah.
I can't think of any right now.
I can't think of any either, but I have to assume.
I don't have enough juice to do a Madonna episode. Like I don't have enough.
I don't.
To go on, but
I don't either. Oh, I will throw this out there though. I've heard from a very large pop star that she was like, look at me doing music videos. So of course, it's not the same where you're reading a script, although some of them do have a lot of dialogue in the music video. But there's definitely costumes. There's stuff you gotta do, choreography, blah, blah, blah. Now, granted, music video, maybe 4 minutes, definitely not the same as 2 hours. I remember that artist doing the parallels. And then the statement was just made, I want to be an actress and I want to be in stuff. So I'm like, interesting. Cause there does seem to be some crossover, or at least an attempted crossover for a lot of artists. And I wonder if that's where it begins. I'm enjoying doing this 4-minute thing. Damn, man, let's do a 2-hour thing. Totally not the same, but I get the origins.
So I'll draw the parallel to art in that I believe that people with artistic expression feel like they need to keep expressing. And that's just my opinion. I am not the most artistically expressive, but when you have talent and you can produce, songs, things like that, at some point, I'm sure the artist gets, I'll use the word bored of continually doing the same thing over and over again. And finding a new way of expression is what's enticing and what would drive them to keep on going in even what they're currently doing. So, for example, if an artist who is normally singing and you use the music video comparison, now they're semi-acting, I think the allure of acting is more enticing if that's what they tend to enjoy or need to have for a change of pace. So thus, it's almost a natural progression to some degree.
On that note, this is just funny for me. High School Musical guy.
Zac Efron?
Yes, Zac Efron. Thank you. So I don't follow him. Not intentionally, at least. He's just in
Until
stuff.
Baywatch?
I didn't follow him in that either.
I'm just kidding.
I imagine it's funny. Wait, okay, hold on. I will say this. So in my mind, cause I never ever followed High School Musical, I'm like, oh, cool. Just another actor, cause he's in multiple movies. And then I saw The Greatest Showman. By the way, have you seen The Greatest Showman?
I have not, but I heard it's really good. I need to watch more movies, I guess.
I'm like that movie guy, I guess. In general, I like to see movies. So anyway, he's in it. And I remember thinking, cool, whatever, an actor that's singing, good for him, whatever, right? And then when he's singing, I'm like, dude, this dude is amazing. He's a great singer. I totally forgot that his background was in singing. And I didn't even do that, but in his case, yeah, good for him. Like that same thing, like the need to produce and the need to be out there. I will say this for myself. I am absolutely a writer. I am a writer first and foremost. I remember at one point I was doing something and my friend asked me, hey, what happens if this happens and that happens? What happens to the writing? What changes there? I'm like, nothing. I will be a writer forever. And I thought about it like, if I was richer than Bill Gates, I would definitely still be writing. And if I was poorer than the poorest man I would still be writing. So like for me, it just screams that, Having said that, the reason why I tell you all that is I do think of myself as a writer, but more appropriately, it might be creator. I say that because I design games. I draw characters. I design other stuff, costumes, whatever, worlds, planets, countries and governments, whatever. I design all that. It's fun. And it dawned on me, just like when I was playing with Legos as a kid, bro, I just like creating stuff. So I can see that, like what you're saying earlier, how people like to transcend from one section to the other. Definitely.
Okay, to reel us back in, I'm going to just read off real quick, and this is from the Grammys site. Lady Gaga, nominated for Record of the Year for Shallow, nominated for Song of the Year, Shallow, nominated for Best Pop Solo Performance. This is actually for Joanne and Where Do You Think You're Going, the song. Nominated for Best Pop Duo Performance with herself and Bradley Cooper for Shallow.
Yep.
Nominated for Best Song Written for Visual Media alongside other songs from movies this year for Shallow. And yeah, that's it. So what is that? 5, 6, whatever. The point is yeah. So
yeah, that's cool.
We're going to hot take it right now. Are you going to call the clean sweep? Do you think that, what do you think?
Okay.
So I'm gonna go over it. So, Best song written for visual media. They're against the song from Coco, the song from Call Me by Your Name, the song from The Greatest Showman, actually.
Oh, nice.
And All of the Stars from Black Panther. I'm gonna go with I think it's a hard thing not to say that it wins at least visual media, like basically best song in a movie.
Okay. It's taking a lot of will. Okay, first of all, I don't enjoy musicals at all. I'm not that guy. Second of all, holy crap, I enjoyed Greatest Showman. It's taking a lot of willpower for me right now not to just be gushing like crazy. Seriously.
That's fine.
So
you also haven't seen A Star Is Born yet, but that's okay.
True. That's true. I mean, that makes it a harder call. That is correct. I did see Coco.
Coco's good.
Yeah. Oh man. Hard call. See, you phrased the question as, will she be doing 100%? Okay. And I will say, you know what? That's really hard. Even one stumble makes it not a sweep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for that logic alone, I'll say no. That's all.
No,
it's
100%.
It's hard. It's super hard. It's really hard to do.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it was Mariah Carey in the Grammys. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but it's a cute photo of her carrying like a crap ton of trophies. You know, like it's hard to carry that much.
Yeah.
And like, that's not that common, or at least in my eyes, because I don't follow that stuff. But the flip side of that is, if you're up for like 9 and you win 8, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And if she's up for 5 and she wins 4, that's still amazing. So no, I hope she does great. And I'm just going with statistics. It's hard to win 100%.
Well, in that case, we'll have to make a bet out of it. I'm not sure what we're going to bet yet, but if you got something, if you can think of something in the next couple minutes while I wrap up the show, then we can maybe throw it on to a later podcast. But I'm going to go with the clean sweep just for fun.
Nice.
And social media can tell us what we should be doing for a winner and loser.
I'm going to throw this at you because this is awkward and hopefully funny and hilarious and enjoyable. So we're talking about a singer. She's a very, very popular singer, and we're talking about her songs. Okay. If I had to make a bet right now, it'd be like this. If I win, you got to sing. If you win, I got to sing.
Okay.
Okay. If
that can happen.
Exactly, right? Why not? It's funny. Everyone will laugh or enjoy or whatever.
Okay. We'll throw it down right now, and we'll figure out how to make it work. All right. Grammy's prediction. I'm going with Lady Gaga sweeping her categories. Alvin says no ways, because statistically it's very hard to do, and I agree with him. But we're gonna get extreme with this. And the loser will have to sing a Lady Gaga song, and we'll figure out how to incorporate that somewhere. Right? Isn't that what you're saying? Isn't that what you're saying?
I don't know what song. I would have chosen a friendlier Alvin song. I don't know yet. Like a song in my
okay, we gotta keep the theme, buddy. We gotta
I agree. You're right. Okay, you're right. I don't need okay. I'm down.
Losers, we'll figure out how to put that up somewhere on the internet or somewhere where people can find it. I'm down with that.
Nice. Okay, nice. Agreed. All right, I'm down. Yeah, nice.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to our pre-Grammys episode highlighting the work and the transformation of one Lady Gaga of all people. I can't believe that we've gone this far, and I am excited to see where this goes. Really, I am. If you like what you're hearing. We are broadcasting this live on twitch.tv/Housing Network. So if you want to see more of this in the future, we're checking it out. We're trying to see how this works. Check us out on that channel. We do other stuff there too. You can go to housingnetwork.com if you want to see everything we're doing. It all gets posted there eventually. All of our episodes go to all the popular podcast services, including iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, all the like. Follow us, leave a like, leave a comment, whatever you can there. Give us some love. Follow us on social media as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And also, if you join our Discord server, which is linked all over the place by now, you can interact with us directly if you want to get up to the minute hot takes on what we're thinking.
And if you like that Alvin goodness, please visit alohalvin.com. And I have a new series of articles. It's on the 7 habits of highly effective writers. Please check it out. I'm sure it's fun. You know, I write like how I speak. And if you enjoyed me today, I'm sure you'll enjoy the site.
If you want to see more of just what I'm saying, the best place to find me is at How's It Chris on Twitter. I like to just make dank memes up or whatever else on there. And hopefully it's a good time. If not, then hey, you know. Once again, we'd like to thank you for lending us your beautiful ears. And just remember, it is not goodbye. We shall see you